Did you know that Leonard Cohen, yes, Leonard Cohen, was a CIA agent, was an Israeli spy? Did you know that he was a part of the MK Ultra era? Did you know that him and Jacob Rothschild were actually in the same bed of cahoots? This is deeper than you actually realize. Like I always say, let's get busy. All right, Cohen was a Canadian Jew who channeled Christian themes in his work and lived for years as a Buddhist monk. He put all those beliefs and experiences into words and music, and the theological legacy of that astonishing body of work is still growing. Yes. The reason why a lot of them, like Bob Dylan and so many others, are still performing is because of the pact that they made. Let's keep going. Now, this is from an article that I got from Cohen and the Illuminati. Yes, he was a part of it. Music is programming, as we all know. This we know. The baby boomers were programmed by rock to accept the unacceptable. First smecks, drugs, rock and roll, and then unalivement. British intelligence set up the EMI recording label in the 1950s with help and approval from who? Lord Rothschild and his Tavistock Institute, whose aim was to remold the thinking of the post-war generation. Yes, absolutely. Post-war, he was talking about World War II. Let's keep going. With Leonard Cohen, a 60s dark horse who always hated the 60s and went deeper. Not just another pretty face, Cohen was an elite product of McGill and Columbia University's ultra-classified MK Ultra mind control projects. Listen to that. Adept at hypnosis and trained as a Manchurian candidate, Cohen met with what? Jacob Rothschild in London in 1959. It all makes sense. Jacob was the son of Lord Victor Rothschild, who allegedly controlled MI5 and MI6 and also had founded the Tavistock Institute, birthplace of MK Ultra mind control. At the same time, Cohen cultivated friendships in the London underground scene, including Black Power activist Michael X, who worked as an enforcer for slum landlord and alleged Israeli spy Peter Rackman. It all makes sense. You're getting the origins of all this stuff and why people feel this way and why people act this way and why generations think the way they think. Mind control. Jacob Rothschild. Let's keep going. Out of this huge classified program of British domestic warfare came the Beatles and the whole British invasion that was sold to impressionable teens around the world. By the late 60s, music was boldly pushing smecks, drugs, and rock and roll in the fermenting aimless rebellion. By the late 70s, most of the really talented figures in rock and roll were dead. Songs played backwards revealed satanic messages, not surprising since the intelligence agencies had a long history of Satanism going back to John Dee and Elizabethan times. Decian decadence overcame peace and love. Yes, this was a plan. Again, to the point. By the 80s, Cohen was penning songs filled with end-time programming scripts and triggers. His small cult audience had privileged access to the secret text that now entailed divine punishment for the generation that had embraced smecks, drugs, and the rock and roll. Increasingly, his songs resembled predictive programming for mass destruction, darkness, and the flood, introducing the NWO religion to Western audiences. Cohen's music draws on Freemasonry, Kabbalah, and Babylonian mystery cults, which he tastefully markets to his sophisticated fan base of baby boomers and their people. It gets better. Leonard Cohen in the future. His 1992 album, The Future, features a hummingbird rising up from a black and blue heart reptilian bloodlines, which seems to hover above a pair of open handcuffs, symbolic of freedom in the New World Order. The title song introduced another apocalyptic slogan, I've seen the future, baby. It's unalivement. Yes, they already know. You need to know. There's an extremely interesting song that I came across the other day, and God told me to do some research on this. Leonard Cohen, First We Take Manhattan. Let's look at the lyric. All right, listen to this. This is Leonard Cohen, who I believe Satan was speaking through him. They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now. I'm coming to reward them. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. I'm guided by a signal in the heavens. Guided. I'm guided by this birthmark on my skin. Guided by. I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. Guided. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. Oh, you love me as a loser, but now you're worried that I just might win, right? People love the fact, especially believers like myself, love the fact that Satan is a loser. But he says, but now you're worried that I might win. You know the way to stop me, but you don't have the discipline. You see this? This is Satan talking through him. How many nights I prayed for this to let my work begin? And it goes on. It says, I don't like your fastest business, mister. And I don't like these drugs that keep you thin. I don't like what happened to my sister. His sister is referring to Mystery Babylon. And then it says, and I thank you for those items that you sent me. Ha ha ha. The monkey and the plywood violin. I practice every night. Now I'm ready. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. Remember I used to live for music. Remember me? I brought your groceries in. Well, it's Father's Day and everybody's wounded. What does that mean? Think about it. Think about it. Remember me? I used to live for music. Lucifer. I used to bring your groceries in, those who depended on him and not God. Let's keep going. Now he says, first we take Manhattan. Let's see what's in Manhattan. World Trade Center is the tallest building, right? In New York. What happened to the World Trade Center in 2001? It was taken. Then he says Berlin. Iconic historical sites like Brandenburg, right? Gate, right? But what else is there? The Holocaust Museum. Now remember, he's Jewish. So what is he talking about? First, they're going to take over the prime epicenter of America, which is in New York. Then they're going to take over Berlin, which is also where what? Hitler's bunker was. Hitler's station was, and also his military. Let's get some more. And also another Satanist, someone who also sold out, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan also spoke highly of Leonard Cohen, and Leonard Cohen also spoke highly of him. Now you know if Bob Dylan supports and admires Leonard Cohen, then that means what? A bird of a feather flocks together. Right? Bob Dylan even came out and said that he made peace with something a long time ago. You know, the chief commander that got him to where he is today, the same chief commander that got Leonard Cohen to where he is today. You people better wake the hell up and stop listening to music for entertainment and start listening to learn what these people are trying to get you to understand. Leonard Cohen, Illuminati, Jewish, secret agent. Yes. Cohen has always maintained a highly controlled public persona. So why does he make Masonic hand signs and use Illuminati symbols? Because Leonard Cohen was chosen by Jacob Lloyd Rothschild, which Jacob Lloyd Rothschild was chosen by Satan to push this through. Leonard Cohen and so many others are spies, coined as entertainers. Jesus said expose them. Facts over feelings. Sorry, not sorry.